Picture this. You're the only person left on Earth. Every street, every city, every continent, empty except for you. The number? 1. The last human alive.
It sounds like a sci-fi nightmare, but mathematically,
It sounds like a sci-fi nightmare, but mathematically, it's not just possible, it's guaranteed. No matter how big humanity gets, the math says we'll always end with one final person. Think about it. Right now, in 2026, there are 8,368,395 humans alive. Each one is a tick on a cosmic countdown, racing quietly towards zero. That's enough people to fill every seat in the 100 largest stadiums, 830 times over. Try wrapping your head around that sea of faces. But here's the kicker. The global population is barely growing anymore. The rate in 2026, just 0.84%. That's the slowest it's been in living memory. That's like if your classroom had 100 kids and you only got one new classmate all year. The days of explosive growth? Gone. Even the U.S., the world's third largest country, holds 342 million people, but its growth is slowing fast. It now grows at just 0.5% a year. Imagine a marathon runner sliding to a crawl. That's what the U.S. population graph looks like now. In France, the future is even starker. In 2025, there were only 645,000 births, the lowest since 1942. Deaths actually outnumbered births for the first time since World War II. Imagine an entire city, like Lyon, just vanishing from the map in a single year. That's what those missing births really mean. And the real red flag? France's fertility rate is now just 1.56 children per woman. It needs 2.1 to break even. Instead, each family tree is shrinking, leaf by leaf. So what happens when this slow-motion decline speeds up? We hit something called the minimum viable population. For humans, that's around 50 for short-term survival and 500 for long-term health. 50 people. That's less than the number of players in an NBA playoff locker room. Try running a civilization with just one busload. Drop below that, and something called the alley effect kicks in. Mates get harder to find. Every birth matters. Recovery? Statistically impossible. Think about wandering a mall the size of Manhattan looking for a friend. Except the mall is silent, and you might never bump into anyone again. And it doesn't end there. There's a phenomenon called extinction debt. Sometimes a species falls below the survival line but lingers, like a candle burning out, even though you know the ending. Some species hang on as living ghosts for decades or centuries after their fate is sealed. It's like pressing pause near the end of a movie, but you know the credits are coming. Take the Manumea bird of Samoa. Once 7,000 strong in the 1990s, now fewer than the fingers on your hand may be left. Only 5 were seen in 2025. Imagine a packed stadium. Then zoom out until only a handful remain in the whole place, like the janitors after everyone's gone home. How fast does this happen? In some species, populations halve every 10 to 20 years. It's like your bank account getting chopped in half every time you check it, vanishing shockingly fast. But wait, what about the last of their kind? We've seen it play out before. Martha the pigeon, alone in a Cincinnati zoo, was the final passenger pigeon in 1914. Her death turned billions of birds into a silent memory, like watching the world's busiest airport close after one last plane takes off. Or Lonesome George, the last Pinta Island tortoise. When he died in 2012, it was like tearing out the final page of a book. No sequel, no next chapter. Benjamin, the last Tasmanian tiger, spent his last days pacing a concrete pen in 1936. With his passing, an entire family tree faded into darkness overnight.
So here's the math. With 8.3 billion of us today, the countdown has already started. After the peak, expected around 2030, the decline kicks in for real.
There's a window, a plateau, of just 32 years before the world's head count starts to shrink for good. That's a single generation's pause before the decline. Eventually, the numbers fall. Hundreds of millions, then thousands, then just a few. With every loss, the odds tick up that we meet our own Martha, George, or Benjamin.
And here's the wildest part. Mathematically, every population, no matter how gigantic, always ends with one and only one last member. There's no group finale, just a solitary exhale. It's like musical chairs where, at the end, only one person is left standing. Echoes bouncing off empty walls, the music long since faded.
Would they know? Would the last person even realize they were the final chapter of 8 billion stories? Mathematically, the end is built in from the beginning. No matter how many zeros we add, the number always shrinks to 1, then fades to 0. So next time you see a crowd, remember, every person is a tally mark in a story that ends with a single, lonely number. The last person isn't a myth, it's a mathematical destiny.